All right, everybody, it's time for this week's episode of All Right Bet. Hey, it's Wednesday night. You're looking for those picks. You want to get that money in your pocket. Last couple of weeks, we have been red hot. Hold on a minute. Well, just getting an update here from, my man, Andy Schefter just tweeted that Andy St. Clair is going to be a game time decision today for DWMOD due to illness. So we will see how that turns out. Shefty, my man, thank you for that tip. We're going to get going, though. Like I said, we've been red hot the last couple of weeks. This weekend, hey, we won some money. We definitely gave you some winners, but not as hot as we were the last 2 weeks. Now, Louis has assured me that this will be the last week you guys will have to watch this monstrosity, as he's taken over the show and is going to fix this thing next week. So enjoy it for the last time, guys.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.
Wanna bet?
No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
When I want a chicken dinner.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, guys, we are into week 9, and I got a surprise for you. Coming out of the locker room like Isaiah Thomas in the fourth quarter in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. My man, Andy St. Clair, is going to give it a go. And how you feeling, buddy?
I've been, this is kind of the first up day. I had like a red box next to my name in fantasy.
Oh.
And it said I was probably a game time call, as you said. But I'm here. I'm ready to go. I think last week, by the way, in the NFL, I think I was just blazing hot. So
sure.
I got to be honest with you, I didn't see the games. Maybe that's why I was so hot. I was asleep.
Down and out, man.
Yeah, didn't see the games. I did wake up a little bit, right? Like I saw the Hail Mary, and I didn't even react. I was just like, yeah, okay, back to sleep.
That cost me a lot of money. Like 4 parlays. I had Bears money line just to come in, and they caught that ball, and I lost all 4 of them. And I'm telling you, Bears money line with some other people. I had some other long shots on there. Some of these parlays that cost me were like $82, $68. I was like, what the? Oh my God,
I think I had Commanders and Chargers in a parlay. And I was just like, oh, okay. I don't even, but I didn't realize it at the time. I was just like, I think I got like a text out to you and a few people. I think I texted like so bad, and that was it. I think that was the last communication I had that day. So, we had a little, like any small child, and you know how it goes. Get sick. They get the mom sick, and then I've been lucky enough to avoid it most of my life, but this one got me. So
yeah, and when it does, man, it'll beat you up, no doubt about it. It seems to be, though, like you said, in a household like that, the kids will get sick, then mom will get sick, or dad will get sick, but it's always just one. And
right.
it's like your body knows, like, I can't give into this thing yet. And then once everybody gets better, then you get to crash.
Yeah. It's a great excuse for this week. If my picks are bad, I can be like, I was sick, man. What are you doing? But if they're great, if they're great, I'm just like, I'm just toughing it out. So it's really, this is like kind of a free week for me.
All right. Well, we'll take it that way with the grain of salt. But like you said, we had some winners in the NFL last week. Let's give us the rundown. Cue it up, Louis. Here we go. Last week, guys, in the NCAA, hey, we gave you Penn State -6.5 to Wisconsin. I was all over that. Andy gave you Akron over Eastern. Eastern chance to win it at the end. They did not. Andy nailed that one. Akron takes it home. Another one I was dead set on. Indiana -6.5 to Washington. That one comes in. Arkansas -6.5 to Mississippi State. Those were 3 games I basically gave you as a lock. Well, both of us were on those as locks, man. And then Andy, again, gives you ODU. I ate it on Georgia Southern, but he gives you ODU, and they win it. And then at the end there, gave you a couple of go-tos. If you guys played all 3 of them, you killed it. Before we got out of there, Andy says the West Virginia +3.5, Houston +3.5, Utah, they win outright. And the Mizzou Bama under, bet it. All 3 of those come in, guys. They nail it. Our money line dogs. Now we've been tallying this all year, Andy. Our money line dogs are now up to 17-9. We are 17-9 on money line dogs last week as BYU beats UCF. We take that tally up again. We ended up losing the Sparta U of M game, but that was a close one. And again, I aided on Georgia Southern there. But 17-9 we are. So pay attention this week when we give you money line dogs. The teasers we gave you in college football, rapid fire, a bunch of them came in. Miami laying the 14, Sparty plus 10.5, Indiana even, Penn State even, Arkansas even. That was easy money on those. Western Michigan minus 10. Andy gave you that one. James Madison minus 16. Those come in. And then we move to the NFL winners we gave you last week, guys. Detroit minus 11. Green Bay minus the 2.5. You remember, Andy? I told you, bet this game, buy the half point, do the 2.5. Bang. That came in at 2.5. Atlanta minus 2.5. Bills minus 3. Arizona beats Miami outright plus the 3.5. We gave you a boatload of teasers. Andy was on the Browns money line. Told you guys this is the week. And he was right about that. A big week last week, Andy. Big week in the NFL for you.
Yeah, I think if anything, it was kind of like the first, what I would call normal week in the NFL, where the big spreaded teams won, but they didn't cover, right? Or the underdogs didn't win outright, right? Like, I think, that Green Bay Jags game, I think we said under a field goal, yes, take Green Bay. But if it's over a field goal, you should take the Jags, because it's just a spot for the Jags, and there's those spots are around. The other thing we found interesting, is we found the team that shows you who the bad teams are, who beats the mediocre teams badly, but struggles against the good teams. Do you know which team that is? I believe.
I off top of my head, I am gonna guess the Houston Texans.
That's a good guess. No, it's the Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
it's a team who beats the mediocre to bad teams, beats them badly, and will embarrass them. But when it plays a good team, it will not win. It will lose.
Okay,
Just
all right.
Look at the Bills, who they've played. Right. Look at their schedule. Just to give you,
they did have a little stretch in the middle there where they didn't look good, and then they got hot again.
Right. They lost to the Texans. Texans are a good team. They lost to the Ravens. Ravens are a good team. But every other team they've blown out except the Jets. Whatever. They beat the Dolphins by 21, the Jags by 37. They beat the Jets by 3. They beat the Titans by 24, the Seahawks by 21. So, looking into the Bills Dolphins this week, I know where I'm leaning and I know what I'm going to take. But, when we get to that section, I'll tell you what I think.
Okay. I think we'll be on opposite sides, but you've done a little homework, it seems. And, the Bills for me this year, I just feel like they're a team that's, like I said, they're going to slowly figure this thing out and have it right on time for the playoffs, and the AFC's wide open. But you're right. We'll get to that. Let's jump into some NCAA games to start this thing off. Now, guys, if you're looking for our hot picks on Ohio State, Penn State, Pitt, and MSU, Texas A&M, South Carolina, you're going to have to tune into the Big Six picks tomorrow. We got another great guest. We got another great show full of segments, quick hits, knock it off. Tune in. You'll get those games there as well as in the NFL. We're going to give you Lions, Packers. We're going to give you Cowboys, Falcons, and we're going to give you Rams, Seahawks. That's over there tomorrow. You'll get those ones. Now, Andy, we'll talk a little bit about those games if we're going to play them as teasers and such, but our actual picks, we will hold those for tomorrow, and you guys got to tune in and check those out. All right, NCAA. Let's jump right on a team that had a big win last week. Oregon at Michigan, who also had a big win last week. That's a big rivalry game, beating Michigan State. It was a home game, but Michigan not looking good. All the money was on Sparty, and Michigan came out of there with the win. Oregon's laying 13.5 here, or actually it's 14. They're laying 14. I think it might be up to 15 now. I think it is. It's up to 15 right now. So Oregon laying 15 at U of M. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Oregon laying the points. I think this is a spot where U of M is going to get hammered.
Yeah, I told you last week. When Oregon decides they want to peek their head out of the sand and demolish a team like they did Illinois last weekend, when you're like, take him at 21.5, I'm like, no. Oregon's they're going to pop their head out. And they're having to pop their head out here a little bit because teams think they're going to beat them. Give me Oregon in the 15.
Yeah, give me Oregon and the 15. And I'm looking at my notes right here. I did play that as soon as it dropped on Monday, and I got in at 13.5. So I love
Right?
that at 13.5. So
Yeah.
yeah, give me Oregon in that game as well. By the way, that Illinois teaser lost by half a point. It was
Oh,
27, it was 28.5, or it was 27.5, and they lost by 28 or something like that. It's
it's so
dang
you
it.
know what's crazy is like we talked about earlier, like I really didn't see hardly any. I saw games were on in the background like white noise, but you're not taking anything in really.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really have any idea of how teams won this last week. So it's kind of like I was frozen for 1 week, and I just get to kind of keep my last week opinion of these teams
Yeah.
into this week.
Well, sometimes that works because you get tricked on how well a team played or
Right?
didn't play. Speaking of Illinois, 3.5-point dogs at home to Minnesota because Oregon whopped them. I don't see
Yeah.
this. You're going to give me Illinois on the money line this week, and I'm going to play that, taking them that spread, and I'm going to play them on a teaser. I'm just going to be all over Illinois this weekend for a rebound against Minnesota. We're judging them because they're whacked by the Ducks. Come on.
Yeah, I've been one of these pro Illinois bad teams, and I'm gonna row the boat. I'm rowing the boat with
Oh
Minnesota.
man, I
Look,
hate that more than anything in
they
college
should have
football.
they should have lost to Purdue a couple weeks ago. The last games I remember, they beat Purdue in overtime. Purdue is god awful. They just got waxed by Oregon. Things can go badly in college football quickly, and then you can't turn it around. Look, their schedule was pretty easy in the first half. They build up this big resume. They look like they're awesome when
That
they're
beat
not.
Nebraska.
Who's gotten smoked by most teams, right? They did, I guess,
I think one time.
Ohio State. They
Yeah,
got
Ohio State.
destroyed by Indiana, right? I don't know. I'm gonna
Uh,
roll the boat. I'm gonna take the home.
wait. Nebraska was beating Ohio State until there was
Yeah,
4 minutes left in the game.
right.
So Nebraska, not a bad football team. Listen, row the boat is like nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't
Yeah,
stand PJ Fleck. I'm a guy who hates coaches who it's all about them,
yeah,
and it is all about him. When you're wearing trademarked clothing on the sideline that do with your team. Now they don't
yeah.
let him get away with that at Minnesota, but when he was at Western, none of his clothing had a W or Broncos, or it all was trademark, just said row the boat. And he took it with him to the next school. I can't stand that guy. Listen, I'm going to be on Illinois. I'm going to be on Illinois here. Andy's on Minnesota.
If it drops to under a field goal, I'm gonna really get on the Gophers. If it's kind of where it's at right now, you're probably right. Take Illinois.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking Illinois.
But under a
money
field
line.
goal is just a pick 'em. Then I'm gonna take Minnesota.
All right. Well, hey, there it is. Now, here's one that is interesting to me, and I think I have a good feel on this
Okay.
couple of weeks and watching Syracuse. Now, Virginia Tech is laying 3 to Syracuse. It might be at 3.5 now. I'm not sure. But again, guys, you know how we do it on this show. We're not trying to take what Vegas gives us. You're trying to win the bet. If it's at 3.5, take that thing down to 2.5. It's at 3. I'm going to bet it at 2.5. Right? I mean, just eat the half point on the odds to win the damn bet. But my point here is I'm taking Virginia Tech. They have been playing good football the last 4 weeks. They look like a team that is set to cause some trouble in the ACC. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably. It's probably a stay away
Yeah.
game for me. I think I like Tech more. My one worry though is like Tech just kind of shows up and doesn't show up. Like 1 week they're awesome and then they just take the next week off when they go on the road.
It could be. I mean, I was on Cuse last week to take the points in a teaser against Pitt, and McCord throws 5 picks. Syracuse just looks bad. They're coming unraveled, I think. McCord coming down to earth to who we thought he was at Ohio State, I believe. I'm going to be all over Virginia Tech in this one this week. I'm going to take it.
I would just tread lightly, be honest, because it's kind of a trap spot for Tech because next week at home, Clemson. And they're going to be much more interested in that game than they are going to be interested
in the same spot
going to Syracuse, right? But the difference is I think Clemson's going to be in the playoffs, like they're fighting for a playoff spot. So Clemson's going to be locked in every week. I like them -9 over Louisville this week. I just think
me too.
Take Louisville. So but Virginia Tech may not show everything they need to show because next week's kind of like that's the big one, right? How many big games Virginia Tech got left? So I would just these kind of games like these spot plays I get nervous about. Like who they got next week.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point, man. You have to consider those things. You do.
Because
Just a real
after this,
confident
they have
team.
Duke. They go to Duke, and then they play Virginia, right? Like so, we know they're going to be up for the Virginia game, but this is the last ranked team coming to Blacksburg. It's going to be, it's just going to be, and the time hasn't been decided. It's probably going to be at night. Metallica's going to play. It's going to be on ABC. Tech's going to lose in some crazy way at the end, right? Probably is what happens. But they're going to be ready to play the game. It's my only
I'm rolling with the home team. I'm definitely going to be taking them this week. Now you bring up Clemson and Louisville. We're both on the same page there. Let's take Clemson laying the 9.5 to Louisville and move on. I think Clemson is, after losing that game to Georgia the way they did early, Dabo has that team proven to everybody. We just weren't ready, but we're good. And they're blowing people out.
Yeah, I think they're moving in the right direction there.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of Georgia, listen, Georgia at home to Florida. I can't believe they only have this thing at 16.5 right now. 17, maybe it's at 17 now. Listen, I'm taking this thing. This thing. Florida is bad. Georgia's going to put their foot on the gas. This is Florida-Georgia line. This isn't going to be a play with your food game for Georgia. I'm taking them laying the points. I'll have them on my teasers as well. You on the Bulldogs?
It's a lot of points for me in general, but I would be on the Bulldogs for sure. Yeah, this is the Billy Napier gets fired tour. Florida's next few games, right?
And I got Georgia this week. Who they got next week?
Then they go to Texas.
Blast.
Yeah. Then they got LSU.
Spanking.
Then that Ole Miss.
Oh my God.
And then they close it out with Florida State. Right. So but the next 4 games are trouble.
I mean, they should just forfeit. Are they begging for another hurricane or?
Well, the real problem is that the Gators are 4-3, right? They're 4-3. Let's say they beat Florida State. Okay. That's 5-3. Now they're going to lose to Georgia, 5-4, lose to Texas. They're going to get one of these 2 teams at home. Who are they going to get? LSU or Ole Miss to get to 6?
Listen, I'm going to go outside the box on that just for fun right now. And I'm going to say the team they might get is Texas. Texas reeling a bit right now. They're having quarterback controversies. Didn't play well last week. They're the better football team and should beat Georgia, or Florida. They should beat Florida. But to me, that's a game I would have circled if I were Florida right now. Like, we might go in there and catch them. They've got the cohesiveness. You know what I mean? But I digress. The Big Ten for a second here. Indiana -8 at MSU. I'm a believer in Indiana. Michigan State's playing good football right now. They're getting better every week. I know you love the coach up there. He's doing a good job. They're turning that thing around. Listen, Indiana's the real deal. Now, I know that they have some issues with the starting quarterback. He's going to be ready to play this week or not. He didn't play last week, and they put the bombs on. Listen, I'm taking Indiana. I'll probably knock this thing down to 7 or 6.5 if I can get there. I'll follow the line. I'm all over Indiana.
Yeah, I would see where this line goes. I love Indiana. The truth is that backup quarterback is not as good as the starting quarterback. Still good. It'll be helpful for him next year, but he's just not as good this year. But I just believe in the coach, and I just think he will will this team to being undefeated to when they get to Ohio State. And then that game is going to be bonkers. And
that's next week. So this is like, it's again a spot where you think, oh, trap game, not a trap game for a team like this. They know that they could maybe be losing next week, right? So they can't have 2 losses.
Well, they also have, they also have, Indiana has they have no wiggle room, right? They go to Michigan next week, right? That'll be helpful. Then they go to Ohio State. But they have no wiggle room. They got to beat these teams, and they got to beat them by double digits. Right? They just got to.
Yep.
Because when it comes down to the end, let's say they're 11-1, they lost to Ohio State. Are you taking 11-1 Indiana? Or are you going to take, 10-2 Texas A&M? Most people are going to take Texas A&M. But if they can kind of build up those wins, build them up,
Yeah, they gotta get this one, and I'm on them this weekend. I think they're gonna take Michigan State by the 8. I'm gonna play that. Also, a big bounce back, not bounce back week. Who? Michigan State?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana, good team. Yeah, they're showing it too.
Tease them down to 2, or take the money line. Put a little money line.
Oh, we'll be teasing that game, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. That will be on a big money teaser for me, no
Yeah.
doubt. Now, Nebraska plays Ohio State tough last week after the abysmal game 2 weeks ago. They got UCLA at home. UCLA is not good. They're playing better the last couple of weeks, but this is not a good football team. This is not a football team built for the Big Ten. This is not a football team built to go into Nebraska and pull this thing off. It's under a touchdown. I'm taking Nebraska on this one. Lock that up.
I like UCLA. I think
Oh,
UCLA, their schedule, the early part of their schedule hid, and people thought they were horrible. And they went to Rutgers and handled the business there. And we were both
turned
on
out
Rutgers.
they're not very good.
Yeah, but are we sure Nebraska's good? So like, I don't know. I like if you look at UCLA's schedule, right?
And
Like who they
I think
play,
they
like,
went to overtime at Hawaii. Bad.
yeah, but they won, right? They won.
Yeah.
They lost Indiana by like 30, which everybody has.
Everybody has been.
So they played. Here's their first 4 games: Indiana, LSU, Oregon, Penn State. Nobody like that just made us all think UCLA was garbage. Then they lost to Minnesota by 4, who I think will beat Illinois. Then they went to Rutgers and won. Then they had a bye week, and they're going to Nebraska, who just played last week. I don't know. Like what I'm doing is buying a half point. Give me UCLA +7. Like
I see where you're coming from there off the bye week. I see where you're coming from there. I'm going to be playing Nebraska in this one, though. But no, I see what you're saying. You guys should probably lay the money where Andy's saying. When you look at all the facts right there, you should probably lay the money there. I'm just not a big believer in UCLA. I'm just not. I don't think
they probably played in their 7 games 4 of the 12 tournament teams, right? Of their first 6 games.
Sure.
I mean,
but they didn't play any of them tough. I mean,
well,
I could lay you out a couple of MAC teams that played 3 teams that are going to the playoff that got their ass whacked
in consecutive weeks. I mean, that was what a brutal welcome to the Big Ten, Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it is. West Coast. I don't like it. They get to Nebraska playing early. I don't like it, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm going to be on Nebraska there. Let's get I think this is a no-brainer. This is one of those games this week, Andy. What does Vegas know that we don't know? What do they think happened to Navy last week at Notre Dame that they're only 9.5 favorites to Rice? Well, give me this Navy team is going to show up this week like they did the last bunch of weeks. I'm expecting them to beat Rice by multiple scores.
Didn't Rice just fire their coach?
They might have.
I think they did, and I think there's some quarterback. I just think when this happens, it's a dead cat bounce, right? People call it. So to me, it's like, give me Rice, right? Navy got exposed, right? Notre Dame just destroyed them. Notre Dame's going to do probably the same thing to Army, right? Just wiping these teams out.
I don't know. I think that might be a little bit closer a game because Navy tries to open it up and throw a little more with the quarterback this year. Army's not going to try to do that. They're just going to try to run the ball and run the clock. They're going to play it how you should play it. I'll expect that to be a little closer, but that ain't saying much when it was 51 to, I don't know, what they have 7. I don't know. But anyway, I'm expecting
I'm going to ride with them with Rice, I think, just because let me check. Because their coach got fired. I love this sort of situation.
I normally do as well, but not against an academy team having a good year. This is not your average group of college football players and students. This is guys that understand we lost that battle, get it together, put it behind you. Next game, it's just a different mentality coming out of there, especially when they're having a good year. I'm going to take Navy.
It's like interim coach wants to impress Rice, is going to absolutely study the tape that Notre Dame laid the blueprint out. Just showed it, like, this is how you embarrass Navy.
Yeah, have 10 times better athletes and go over the top. Rice can't do that.
They'll scheme it basically the same way, and we'll see if they can stop them. And you're going to give me like 9, 10, 11, 12 points? Like, yeah, just give me the points. Like,
all right. I'm gonna be on the 9.5. I'll be teasing that thing down and taking them in a pick 'em as well. Let's get to some money line dogs, unless you got some other lines you like. I'm keeping it light.
I do have 2, but one of these would be a money line too. And
I
would take the spread and the money line.
All right.
Washington Huskies +3 at home versus the USC Trojans. Look, USC's coming in as a favorite. You're telling me Lincoln Riley's a favorite on the road? No.
I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it.
Why would I? No one should like it. No, he's not going to win this game. He's not going to win at home. He's not going to win it at Washington as a favorite. He just won't. New coach who was at Arizona last year. Arizona beat USC. His coach, Jed Fish, likes to beat USC. Give me Washington all day.
That's fair. That's
All
fair.
day.
I was going to say stay away game for me because I think it'll be so close. But you want to take the home team with a field goal? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, give me that guy.
Sure.
The other one, it's not really a money line, but I just want to bring it up, is I think the Pitt Panthers dream comes to a crashing halt this weekend.
SMU.
Yeah.
Yeah, SMU. Right.
SMU,
You're going to take them. Well, that's one of our Big Six picks games, so we'll get to that. Yeah,
right, yeah. That's just a little hint where I'm going.
Yeah, right. I got you. All right. Well, hey, let's talk a few dogs that I like this week, and you tell me. Now, this has nothing to do with how I'm going to pick it against the spread in the Big Six picks, but one of my money line dogs this week is going to be Penn State. I'm going to take Penn State on the money line this weekend. You got 2 top 5 teams, and the spread is under 3. You're going to take the money line on that. Why not?
100%.
100% taking the money line on Penn State just because. Now, here's another one that I love. I don't understand this. Vegas, you tell me. Vandy plus 6.5 at Auburn. Auburn, not good this year. Playing a little better the last couple of weeks. Not good. Vandy playing really well. And I just don't mean the upset. They gave Texas a run for their money. I mean, this is a team. How the hell are they 6.5-point dogs?
I like Auburn. I got to be honest. Vandy's kind of like a service academy. They're like a service academy. They play really slow. They want to each team have the ball like 6 times, and they want to just, hang in to the end like that. Auburn is, as you were saying about Navy, and what Rice won't do. Auburn has better athletes than Vandy. Auburn's going to be at home. Hugh Freeze is moving in things in the right direction. Hugh Freeze is playing for next year, right? He's got to kind of set the pattern here for Auburn. I like Auburn. I like the 7. I'm teasing this game down to 1. I mean, I like that quarterback for Vandy, but Vandy's not sneaking up on anybody, and they're not going to sneak up on Auburn. I guarantee it. So let's see them on the road. Like who'd they beat on the road? Nobody. They almost beat Missouri.
They play Texas on the road?
No.
That was a home game?
But they didn't beat them, right? I'm saying
no, but would they lose by under a score? It was a close game, man. And then they almost beat Missouri on the road when Missouri was healthy.
Right. And Missouri doesn't seem to be as good as we think, right?
No, that's a good point. They don't.
So I don't know. I like Auburn. I'm taking the SEC home team under a touchdown. I love it.
Well, I'm taking Vandy as one of my money line dogs this week because that's how we do it, man. That's how we do it.
I mean, it's a good dog pick,
Yeah, why not? Here's one I think you'll love. Here's one of my other money line dogs this week. Oklahoma State at home against Arizona State. Now, I've been on Arizona State this year. I think they're a good football team, and in good matchups, I like them. On the road at Okie. Okie hasn't been playing great, but this is only like a 3-point spread.
Yeah.
I think this is a game where they show up and win.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
Give me Okie State.
I love Okie State.
I'll take them as a money line dog. Now, I'm going to give you 3 long shot money line dogs here that I'm not going to count against our count, but this is just a little long shot parlay that I am going to play here. A long shot dog. This will pay really well. You might only need to put $2 on it, right? I'm going to take Pitt because they're 7-point dog. I'll take them money line in this thing. Nothing to do with what I'm doing Big Six picks. This is all about money right now. All right.
Yeah.
Give me Pitt on the money line. All right. Give me South Carolina on the money line against Texas A&M.
Love that one. Love it.
And give me Illinois on the money line against Minnesota. You put those 3 teams together money line. Listen, you're not likely to hit that bet, but it ain't crazy.
No.
It ain't crazy.
No, that's
I'm gonna put $5 on that. Probably come in at about $85-$90, man.
Yeah, I like all this. I like Wisconsin as well, +3 at Illinois, TCU +3. I like those +3. It's like any +3, I'm always going to probably take the money line dog.
Take a money line dog on that, no doubt about it. All right, let's jump into some NCAA teasers, and then we'll get to the NFL. Just real quick, again, we'll do this like we normally do. I'm going to give you some rapid fire here. Andy, you tell me if you like them or not, and if you have anything to add at the end, go ahead and do it. Okay, give me Penn State plus 10.5 at Ohio State. That's easy.
Sure.
Oregon -7 at Michigan. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Illinois plus 10 against Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's going to be a close game. Give me Georgia laying 10 to Florida. You might even be able to get in at 9.5.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe you want to stay away from that one. I like it. Indiana -1 to Michigan State.
Yep.
Nebraska even against UCLA, but you like UCLA, so we'll be on opposite sides there.
I would tease that UCLA up to 12.
Yeah, that's the better play. 100%. That's the better play, guys. Tease that UCLA up to 12. I am a guy that I love a pick 'em if I think the team's going to win, and sometimes that bites me in the ass. But I'm going to go Nebraska even. Clemson -3 to Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Pitt plus 14.5 to SMU. I don't see that being a blowout. You got the hook over 14. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably for the hook.
Yeah, with the hook, definitely. Okie State plus 10 against Arizona State.
Yeah.
I love that one too. And then also give me Vandy at plus 13.5, 14.
Yeah. Double. Yeah, for sure. 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. And if you want to get crazy, just tease Navy down to 2.5. You tease Navy down to 2.5. I'll take that too.
Yeah, for sure. They'll probably win.
Yeah, there's your teaser for this week, guys. And every week, Andy, our teasers are coming in at like 75-80%. So you guys take the 2 or 3 or 4 you want, put them together in whatever parlay you want. A couple of weeks ago, I think we gave you 16 and only 1 didn't hit. If you didn't win money on that, that's on you. I can't help you.
That's pretty good.
If you picked the one team that wasn't the winner and you put them on all your parlays, that's on you.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, man, let's jump into some NFL and we'll see who you like. I'm going to be on Texas +3 Thursday night against the Jets. I'll probably buy the half point. Give me Texans +3.5. I just don't think the Jets are good. Listen, I'm watching all these shows. I'm looking at everybody who you're picking NFL this weekend, and everybody loves the Jets this weekend because Texans just aren't that good. Well, they just keep winning. And the Jets don't.
mean, it's +1.5 right now.
Oh, is it now? So it's gone down from when I got in on Monday night. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the Texans have no wide receivers. It's just a Joe Mixon game. Can the Jets stop Joe Mixon? If they can't, which I don't think they will be able to, I'll probably join you on the Texans.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Thursday night's been good to the home favorites too. Ultimately, that's kind of the trend this year. It's like the better team, the team that's favored, tends to win on Thursday. Last Thursday, the Rams +3, love them.
Yeah,
they won at home. So that's
and listen, with the Jets, guys, here's where I'm at gambling wise. You got to think gambling wise. You don't think with your heart and what teams you like and storylines, right? Now, gambling wise, everybody is trying to do like you did last week, Andy, wisely jump on the Browns at the right time, right? Everybody's waiting for this Aaron Rodgers wake up game, and you don't want to miss it, and you want to be on it. And for me, I got other teams I can bet on. You come talk to me about the Jets after he has his wake up game. I'm not betting on it.
Yeah, I think this is also like I'm just waiting to see what the line does like an hour before the game. And it may be a stay away, to be honest.
Sure.
If it gets down to if it gets up to +3, yeah, I like the Texans. If it gets down to like a pick 'em, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, probably won't do it. Lions are at 3.5 right now to Green Bay. This is a no-brainer for me. I will be taking the Lions. I will be buying the point. Give me the Lions -2.5 at Green Bay. Jordan Love's banged up. He's hurt. The Lions are clicking. I've heard everything about Goff's first game outside. He hasn't played outside yet. I don't care. This team is clicking. He's only got to complete 13 of 15 passes. It ain't like they're asking him to throw 35 balls outside this weekend. Give me the Lions.
Now, 2 things. One, this is part of the Big Six picks.
It is. My bad.
And I know you went right through it. So I'm going to, just to play the opposite, I will be on the Packers. I love this spot for the Packers. They did this last year to the Lions. I've already been on the record weeks ago saying it's the same Lions team as last year. It's identical. It's an identical team to last year, which is awesome because the Lions were awesome last year. Aiden Hutchinson this is the game where you're missing, right? This is the game. Also, LaFleur did this to the Packers last year on Thanksgiving. I had so much money on Detroit last year. And then
both of us.
Green Bay came in and destroyed him. LaFleur, it kind of is very good against the Lions. There's no way anyone should be taking the Lions in this game. This seems like this is a Packer day. Look, the Packers are at 3.5. Love's gonna play, like, so take the hook. Like, he's not gonna miss the game. It doesn't matter to me. Like, he will be there, and I like the Packers.
Message game on the road at Lambeau. Kong, give me the fist bump. Boom. Let's go. I'm on the Lions, man. But we'll be talking about that again tomorrow. That's my bad there. We're going to be on opposite sides on this one. I think you already alluded to it. Bills, Miami. I'm riding Bills Mafia. Home game, 6.5. I'm going to be taking the Bills, especially on a teaser and a pick 'em.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think the Bills are about to expose, like I said earlier, they tell you who the bad teams are. And here's the thing. The Dolphins are one of the bad teams. And the Bills are about to tell us all on Sunday when they beat them by like 14. The other thing is, if they win this game, pretty much locks up the division. It's not like the Pats or the Jets are going to catch them.
Nope.
So I think there's extra incentive for the Bills to lock up the division. And I think they're going to put it on the Dolphins. So I love the Bills.
Yeah, love them in this spot.
Tease the Bills down to pick them.
Yeah.
That's how much I love them.
Yep. Now, I don't know if this line has moved on Washington at New York Giants. I had it written down at 2.5. It's probably 3.5 now.
3.5.
3.5 right now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be on Washington, especially after last week's win. This team's right now. They're feeling good. Daniels, another week to get healthy. I don't think the Giants are any good. They're trying to be competitive right now, but Washington has proved they're good.
I like the Giants plus 3.5. I like Daniel Jones is really only good against one team, and that's the New York Football Giants, or that's the Washington Commanders. Like, look at his stats against Washington; are incredible. They lost them by 3 earlier this year in Washington. The regression, everybody just thinks Washington's going to blow teams out the rest of the year. It's not going to happen.
No,
the regression's coming, and it actually maybe started with the Bears already. Daniels is not going to just be electric for 10 more weeks. So,
really good, though, and an injury. But I'm not discrediting your point. That is coming. You are 100% right. But last week probably saw that one coming,
Right. So I like Daniel Jones and the Giants. I think the Giants are, they're not good, but they're not also absolute terrible. Daniel Jones is the one who's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, not good at all. Listen, we're going to skip Atlanta, Dallas. That's going to be on the Big Six picks tomorrow, and we got an Atlanta Falcon fan on the show, so we'll be diving into that one tomorrow for sure. Eagles minus 6.5 to the Jags. This is a tough one because this Jags team we know has talent and has shown flashes, but they're bad, man. They are bad. This is a home game for an Eagles team who seems to be clicking, seems to be turning the corner. Listen, I'm going to be on the Eagles. I'm going to be on the home team minus the 6.5.
Yeah, it's up to 7.5 now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's also the Jags have no receivers, right? Brian Thomas Jr. is out 2 to 4 weeks. Christian Kirk's out. They really only have Evan Ingram, and we don't know what Etienne's doing. We don't know what Tank Bigsby's doing. Like,
this game just reeks, man. Buy the point, put it on a parlay, get this one in there.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to kind of move around the way they want to in this game.
Yeah, and this is a no-brainer as a pick 'em. You're going to tease this thing down and take it as a even Eagles pick 'em, that for sure. And the same on this next game for me. Vikes Colts. Now I know Flacco is going to start. That could turn this into a football game, but for a teaser, I'll take the Vikes on an even. I was on Vikings laying 6. Now that Flacco is playing, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I probably am not.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. I think so. I just think, like, look, the one thing you can do on the Vikes is run, and I think Taylor can get going. But I just, I don't know that the Vikes have lost 2 in a row. Sunday night football game. I don't know. This thing kind of smells like it could get high scoring and just, 42-28 at the end of the game, something like that.
Yeah, big worm on the hook for me right there that I didn't know. I didn't realize when I was researching for this. Yeah, Vikings losing 3 in a row. you know me gambling wise, I'm a guy that loves that trend. That's a one that I like. When you have a good team who's lost 2 games in a row, I'll usually jump on them, whoever they're playing. Losing 3 in a row for a good team usually does not happen.
Yeah, and also the Vikings defense, I think they should stick with Anthony Richardson. Not because I think he's better than Flacco. I just think he needs to, he's got to, if they're gonna play him, like what are we doing? Right? He's played like 9 or 10 games as a quarterback in the NFL. Now we're what are we doing? I don't know. You got it's for your future, right? Like
I think I'm on the other side of it though. That's why you invested a lot and it's on your future. And the last couple of games have not shown you he's getting any better or learning anything. So let's not blow this thing up and keep marching him out there because he ain't getting better. Let's let him learn from Flacco and just sit down and relax a minute. I think just as a franchise,
play the same game. That's the problem. Anthony and Joe Flacco play 2 different positions at quarterback. Anthony doesn't need to learn how to sit in the pocket. Anthony needs to learn to get up, move, and make the right decision. Like the speed the Vikings are going to come at the Colts is just going to, in my opinion, eat up Joe Flacco. It's a very fast defense, and Joe's like everybody loves Joe. We will see if everybody loves Joe on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But also the point about learning from another guy isn't that he needs to learn how to play like Joe Flacco. The reads are the same. No matter what you're doing, the reads are the same. Now he can expose the reads differently as an athlete and getting out of the pocket and maybe getting outside. And then that 2 becomes more open than the 1. Those are all different things. But right now he's seeing nothing. He's seeing bomb or pull it down. You know what I mean? So
I get in the short term, it's better for your team, but in the long term, it's not, in like 2 years when the Colts have to make a decision and I hate the decision personally. I think you just got to write it out. And you gotta let the kid play. I think it's horrible, personally.
You could ruin him, man. I'll agree with you on some other quarterbacks. You could ruin him right now.
I hate it. I really hate it. I just you got to play Richardson to me. But I mean, he's not
I think they got a chance at the playoffs too. Is the other thing, and that becomes a money game with the front office. And when the money's involved, we're gonna roll with the guy that gives us a better chance.
What are they getting the playoffs for? So they can get embarrassed by the Bills or Ravens? What are we doing?
They don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl, but that's a fan's take, right? Front office take is, you get 1 playoff game, we're getting paid, guys. So let's get to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Come on, Colts.
All right. I'm probably gonna be on the Vikings with you though on that 3 loss. I like that. You got any other games you like? That's topping out for me. I'm not getting crazy this week.
I think Arizona and the Bears is interesting.
Yeah,
I have to say, I kind of like Arizona though. I think that's just a horrible loss, and I don't know. I just kind of like Arizona. Browns, Chargers. Look, these are the exact same teams.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: since it's Halloween, Jameis, trick or treat, baby. Last week against the Ravens, he was all treat. He gave it to us.
Yep.
And you got to be careful with the tricks here. So I'd be a little nervous about the Jameis tricks. I think what the Chargers do in this game is just kind of stay in it long enough till Jameis makes some truly horrific mistakes, which he will.
That very well could happen. You're not wrong about that. I'll tell you what I think the more important Jameis factor is. It's not what he's going to bring to the table and finally start getting some first downs and moving the ball for the Browns. That's helpful. He has woke up the defense. The defense now gives a shit and is showing that, especially last week against the Ravens, that defense woke up and was like, oh, we're playing football now. Now we got a chance. You know what I mean? That's what I like about the Jameis factor for me. Here's a little 5-team money line I put down. It does include the Browns, so I'll bring it up right now. Playing a 5-team money line. Browns, Lions, Texans, Washington, Atlanta.
Browns, Lions, Texans, Washington, Atlanta. I worry about a couple teams. I got to be honest.
Washington and Atlanta, I feel like you're worried about.
No.
Okay. Well, Lions,
I worry about the Browns and the Lions. I worry about the Browns and the Lions. Browns and Lions.
All right. You're on the engine. I thought you were on the caboose of that thing, but you're all over the engine on that. I got you.
Yeah. I like Atlanta, but who Texans? Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd waste it on Texans because I would hate to be mad. I'd have to rebet it after the Texans lose. I just want to bet it once.
You just want to bet it. You just want to bet it once. Yeah, leave them off.
I know I would do it. If the Texans,
I would do it too. If I bet this thing and the Texans lose on Thursday, Andy, I'll be playing those other 4 teams as soon as the game's over.
Exactly.
and then
Yeah.
I'll lose it twice. So, all
I
right,
mean, look,
let's go rapid fire.
I love the Lions. I do love the Lions. I think they're an awesome team. But again, they things are going too well. They're going to Green Bay. We'll see.
Yeah, it's message time. It's a message time to the
I hope
league.
so. Look, the message is they're the best team in football.
They are right now. They are right now, man. And this is, I mean, knock on some wood, but if it's ever going to happen that we can get there, it's a year like this, man. The AFC does not look like it normally does with a couple of juggernauts no one can beat. It looks wide open. And the NFC, for sure, there is no juggernaut. For
Right.
sure.
Well, you
So-
also have but again, same Lions team as last year. No Hutchinson, and when
No
they play the good
Hutchinson.
teams, that will matter.
Offense is
You
looking
know.
a lot better.
It hasn't mattered
Yeah,
the last
well-
few weeks. It hasn't mattered the last few weeks. They haven't played anybody good.
Yeah, we'll see if they make a move at the deadline for one of these DNs, but it's coming up quick. We're going to find out. All right, rapid fire on some teasers. Add some at the end or tell me nay along the way. All right, let's go here. Texans, Jets plus 9 or 10. All right, well, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Bills even against Miami.
Yeah.
Yep. Ravens -2 at home to Denver. Bounce
Probably
back game.
hard to. I mean, you don't know which Ravens team's going to show up.
Yeah, home game though under a field goal. I'm going to be on Ravens against Denver. Browns plus 9 or 10 to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Probably. Raiders plus 15 at Cincy. That could bite me in the ass, but listen, I'm mad at Cincy, man. Like, you just ain't showing me you're any good.
Well, I can't believe you're still betting Cincinnati, right?
Against. I'm thinking about taking the Raiders here. You know what I mean? Plus 15.
Here's the key to me to Cincinnati. Check the report to see if T. Higgins is playing. If T. Higgins isn't playing, it's going to be a grind. If T. Higgins plays, they have more offensive firepower. They can drop some more points. Like in the Eagles game, he wasn't playing. I'm like, I love Philly. Boom. Philly just destroyed him. So I think that's the key.
All right, that'll be the key. That's a good tip, guys. Pay attention to that.
Also, if he does, give me Cincy pick him. -1.
Okay. Patriots plus 10 at the Titans. Yes. Two terrible teams. Give me plus 10 on either one. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots plus 3.5. I'm taking the Patriots money line. I love it.
All day. Eagles even against the Jags. We're both in love with that. Vikes even against the Colts. Sure. Give me that. And here's one I like. Bucks Chiefs under 52.
Sure. I say it every week. Right?
Every week.
Like, we're betting the Chiefs under. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, that's all they do is go under. Like, look, they went over last week against the Raiders. I was on the under. They went over by like 3 points, 2 points.
Yep.
Like,
They did.
It was the only. I also had the Raiders to cover, so I was like, we needed one of them to hit. It couldn't be middled, so I didn't really care, But the Chiefs are generally an under team, so
yeah.
Probably also taking the Bucks at plus 8.5, though I hate it. The Chiefs are not just they leave the back door open. They don't really care. They win by 7. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They've been doing that. And you've been pointing it out. No doubt about it. Well, listen. There it is, guys. We're keeping it pretty light this week, and that's what you're supposed to do gambling, right? A couple of weeks ago, we're red hot. We roll into the next week, and we get it. We're red hot again. Last week, we overextended a little. I overextended a little bit on betting a little extra because I was hot. Didn't end up killing me. You know what I mean? Didn't end up losing or nothing like that, but didn't stay hot. So now you got to realize the irons are out of the fire. Let's tread light this week and keep a regular pace.
Yeah. Hey, pick who's your one money line parlay? One dog who you like this week in the NFL.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
As a dog, listen, I like the Texans on Thursday night, but if I had, let's say, I don't want to say the Browns, but maybe the Patriots. For the Patriots, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'll stick with the Texans.
All right. Well, I would parlay that with the Packers. And, just let it ride.
Man, just throwing a last minute shot in here. You set me up for that.
It's just the most obvious gamble of the day. It's just the most obvious.
We're gonna be off of that. We're gonna be off of that, man. I'll play the Colts over the Vikes before I do that. Flacco time.
Oh no. If you can't play that one, then at least choose like the Browns, right? I would choose the Packers. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe the Browns. I'll probably be on Browns. Chargers are going to try to play an ugly game. You're going to get an ugly game. I'll take the Browns in an ugly game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a lot of great dogs this week.
All right, man. Well, that is all right bet for this week, guys. Hopefully, we're putting a little bit of money in your pocket. As always, tune in Wednesday nights. We're giving you all the picks, and we're letting you know the next week. Not like other shows where they just throw their picks at you, and then the next week it's not even addressed or talked about again, and they never have to answer for anything they were right or wrong on. We do a recap every week, and we'll let you know here's where we won, here's where we ate it. You know what I mean? And we're cranking out winners. We are cranking out winners tomorrow. Big Six picks. We got Atlanta comedian Tankhead Mo going to be on the show. That's going to be a good one. We'll be kicking that off tomorrow. And you know what, man? Let's go out on the short one. It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.